Hello and welcome to another episode of Mike and Dave's Hi-Fi Riff. I'm Mike Evans.
And I'm David Price.
And David, on this week's riff, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about these, Mike.
No, we're not. We're not, actually. We're going to be talking about this.
Oh dear.
We're going to be talking about this. I found this in your bathroom. It's funny that, isn't it? This is a very nice Volvo C70 brochure from, I don't know which year it is, but it's a very, very nice brochure.
Late 90s, I think.
Lovely pictures of it, of Volvos. Would you like to give our lovely Riff viewers an update on how how your Volvo is, how your C70 is? Because I know people are dying to know, because the reason why I know that is because there's a lot of comments about your Volvo.
There has been a strangely large number of comments about my Volvo.
It has.
And I would not like to give anyone an update. Thank you for that, Mike.
Okay.
Not rehearsed or planned or anything, just thank you for just...
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's broken down.
So...
it's broken down.
A partial fail to proceed.
Yes.
So FTP, as we call it.
So I just want to. I'm going to say this. So you drove to Cumbria in your BMW. Your BMW broke down. So rather than go on the train because you don't like trains, you bought the Volvo.
Yes.
Okay, and you came home in that.
Yes.
Which was fine for a bit. And did a few bits to it.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go back to Cumbria in the Volvo.
It didn't want to go.
The Volvo's broken down in Cumbria,
Yes.
and you've now had to come back in your BMW that's mended.
Yes, thankfully in the nick of time.
So you just conveniently left a BMW up in Cumbria just because you knew.
Well,
you knew the Volvo was
not
going
voluntarily
to die.
Basically, the BMW didn't want to go down, so I got the Volvo, then came down in the Volvo, then came back up in the Volvo, and the BMW didn't. The Volvo didn't want to go down again. It wanted to stay up in Cumbria.
Yes. So, can you blame it? It's probably sunny, nice sunny day.
Very nice at this time of year.
Very nice indeed. Yeah. Who would want to leave the Lake District?
But can we please stop talking about my car woes for now?
I just think it's funny. Okay, so what are we actually going to be talking about on this riff?
Well,
you've got a box of gadgets here.
Yes, it's the Meze Audio 109 Pro.
Have you made me a cup of tea?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
and I'm not going to.
I'll do the unboxing then in that case.
You better.
I have. Look at this. Nice box.
Yep.
Very nicely presented, isn't it? Sorry, the Meze Audio.
Yeah. 109 Pro headphones.
109 Pro headphones. So we haven't done a headphone riff before, have we?
I don't think we have.
Oh, look
and
at that.
we've had a few people
Do you want to hold the thing?
So.
And I'll pull this rather funky kind of hard case out.
Yep.
This is quite cool. Yeah. I'm quite a headphone fan, actually.
Yeah.
I think they do some amazing things if you have decent headphones. First time I realised this, look at those. First time I realised this was I listened to a pair of Stax electrostatic loudspeaker. Headphones.
Yeah.
And they blew me away. I couldn't believe the amount of detail. And I remember listening with an old Cambridge CD player, and I couldn't get over the amount of resolution and detail that was coming off this CD player.
Yes.
It was amazing. But look at these. These are gorgeous, aren't they? 109 Pros.
Yeah.
Beautifully made. Beautifully put together. Look at that.
Yeah. So
really nice.
They're it's an interesting product, I think, which is why we've decided to cover it. There we go. My glamorous assistant Mike is now demonstrating.
Like a Cyberman.
So yes, I would say. I would say not quite like a Cyberman bike.
No, okay.
And you don't really...
I'm not quite as evil.
Not really the spitting image of a Cyberman wearing those headphones. So...
no, tell me about these. Tell me about these things. Why did we choose to review these as our first headphone?
This is it's a fairly new headphone brand. It's kind of best known for its isodynamic drivers. But this is actually conventional design. It uses... dynamic drivers, basically normal, this kind of things you get in Sennheiser, Bayer, and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But it does have some. The drive unit technology is quite fancy, and we'll go into that in a minute. I don't know if anyone can see the drive units in there, but but it's a sort of, I'd say Meze Audio, an up and coming headphone brand, and they've got quite a cult following. And these are £770, so they're not cheap. But headphones, a lot of headphones are quite expensive
They
these
are,
days.
I know. And I was looking at some of
Yeah.
the Sony MDR ones, and you pay thousands of pounds for them. But
Yeah.
you know, but the build quality on that, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I think the
Quite
form
lovely.
factor
Yeah.
is fab as well.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like, and I'm going to sound a bit sad here, is they're actually really light, aren't they?
Yes.
Because that's, for me, such an important part, because you don't want to wear really heavy headphones forever. That was always the downside with the electrostatics.
Yeah.
And also, they weren't particularly portable, because you had to have
Yeah.
a charge thing to go with them as well.
Well, they're said to be 375 grams. So, you know, they're compared to some, they're light. Certainly compared to Stax ear speakers,
Yes.
which really are Cybermen.
They really are,
tech,
actually.
aren't
Yes, yeah.
they? They're pretty light, but they're just very nicely done. And you know, you think you can get a sort of Sennheiser mid-price Sennheiser like an HD 660 Mark II, that kind of thing, for you know. Not an awful lot less money, and
No.
and the Sennheisers are a lot more plasticky. So these have got a metal frame, and I think it's aluminium frame, and black walnut wood ear cups. So
Yeah, they're really lovely.
very nice.
So I have got a pair of Beyerdynamic Amerons,
Yeah,
and these sound much better.
yeah,
They really do.
Yeah.
They sound an awful lot better
Yeah.
in every department. More bass, more detail, better stereo separation, everything. And I'm actually, I've got to be careful here. I'm a bit disappointed with my purchase, because
Okay.
you know, I'm kind of, if I'd heard these first, I wouldn't have bought the Amerons. But there we are.
Yeah.
I just think these are very, very nice indeed. Yeah, really lovely. We listened to some. We've done some interesting. I've done some really interesting stuff with these.
Yeah.
Because I've had them a little while.
Yeah.
Do you remember a few weeks ago we did the review of the Chord Dave?
I do.
So
Hasn't come out yet.
named after you. Named after you.
Yeah,
So I listened to these with the Dave.
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
yeah,
It was like just sublime.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We've got to be careful, because people have a go at us for harping on about Chord products too
Yes.
much. But that was a kind of like a bit of a kicking combination.
Well, I think
thought
you
that
should
was super
stop
cool.
harping on about core products, Mike.
Oh, because you just happen to have one here.
So I was listening with a TT2,
Yes.
Hugo TT2, and you know, that's a very nice headphone amp as well.
Yes.
But other headphone amps, it's more than just a headphone amp, obviously.
Are available. I've got one here, look.
Yeah.
And we should do. I'll tell you what we'll do.
Yeah.
Rather than talk about this too much now, we'll do a whole riff on this.
Yes.
Because this is a really cool bit of kit. This is the Hi-Fi Diablo
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Now this is quite funky because it does lossless Bluetooth.
Yes.
It takes lossless Bluetooth.
Yeah.
But this is obviously a dedicated headphone amp.
Yes.
It claims to be very powerful.
And a DAC. as
And a
well.
DAC and
Yeah.
all of that amazing stuff. And portable. It's got battery powered.
Yeah.
And this was really cool with it.
It's very good.
And I thought for a sort of stonking combination,
Yeah.
you know, I think you look a bit of a weirdo on the train
Yes.
when you're doing this. And you've got this big sort of, you know, you plug your phone into the DAC,
Yes.
and then you plug your headphones into that, and you look a bit like Cyberman. And it's a bit odd. And also these leak noise.
Yes.
They're really loud outside of the headphones, so
Yeah.
you know, not very
Yeah.
quiet carriage friendly, as it were.
Fun fact, Mike.
Yeah, go.
No, actually, it's a Trivial Pursuit question.
Oh, okay.
So, what does that Hi-Fi headphone amp have in common with a Leyland Princess?
Oh my god.
So
Oh my gosh.
you'll
well,
never get it.
So
So
Leyland
only
had hydroelastic suspension. I don't think that's got that.
no.
The Princess was phenomenally unreliable. This is still working.
Yeah.
Does these rust? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm doubting they rust as much as the Princess did.
No, I don't know.
So the kind of working title, the kind of prototype name of the Princess was Diablo.
No.
Yeah.
Was it really? So they went from devil to princess.
They did.
Gosh.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
So,
I was having a
bit
conversation.
of an about turn there in the
Just
old,
a
the old
touch.
drawing
I know.
office.
Yeah. I was having an interesting conversation this weekend about car names.
Yeah.
And I think they've become a bit boring. I mean,
Yes.
actually, some of the old names are really cool, weren't they? And actually, some of the British Leyland names were cool. Allegro is
Yes.
quite a cool name. Sirocco, Desert Wind.
Yes.
You know, Diablo, well, Princess.
Yeah.
You know, pretty funky.
The Toyota Merde, do you know that one?
No.
MR2 in French
Oh.
is Merde, which is SH1T.
Right. Okay.
So they weren't called MR2 in the French market.
I didn't know that. De Chevaux.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's sort of, I don't know, cars have slightly boring names, don't they?
They do.
Like C70 and stuff like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And Stinger.
See, that's a good name. So,
Yeah.
what did we play? Bum, bum, bum.
Yes.
Some vinyl. Let's get some vinyl out. Album number 1, please.
Yes. 12-inch.
Cool for Cats.
Yeah.
No, this is the album.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
It's the album.
A big part.
Because this has got 3 of their first 3 singles on, which I think were Slap and Tickle,
Yes.
Goodbye Girl,
Yeah.
and Up the Junction's on here as well. So on Cool for Cats, 4 singles then in that case. Isn't that brilliant? That's really cool, isn't it?
Not great recording quality, but lots of fun.
Great. I love Squeeze.
Yeah, me too.
I love Squeeze.
Yeah.
I've seen Squeeze a couple of times live.
Yeah.
And they've never disappointed. They were amazing. Great.
So,
okay.
The first single by Difford and Tilbrook after they left Squeeze.
Yeah.
Name It.
Yeah, I should know this because I remember it was on. Do you remember they relaunched Jukebox Jury a few years ago and sort of like had this celebrity panel, and they had their first album, their first single.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who was on the panel, but they accused it of clogging up vinyl because they thought it was so terrible.
Yeah.
I can't think what it's called. What's it called?
So, Love's Crashing Waves.
Love's Crashing Waves.
Yeah.
God, it was.
So I'm just going to absolutely go for you because you've been so horrible about my Volvo. I'm going to ask you endless pop triv and Leyland Cars related trivia for the entire duration of this review. So,
okay.
You brought it on yourself, Mike. I'm not picking on him, viewers. He is picking
on
me. He's been
me.
nasty to me earlier on about my Volvo.
How can you say you're not picking on me when it's recorded and, on celluloid?
Yes.
Great album.
Wiltshire's finest.
Great band.
Wiltshire's finest.
This is the Dukes of Stratosphere,
Yeah.
a.k.a.
XTC.
Andy Partridge et al.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent, actually. I've got a copy of this as well.
Yeah.
I've got a copy of this. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
It's very good, isn't
Love this, yeah.
Yeah.
Dukes of Stratosphere.
Yeah.
Very cool indeed. Again, sounded really good.
Yep.
Sounded very, very good indeed.
It's a bright, chiming, clanging kind of album.
Yeah.
Very 80s, mid-80s sort of pop rocky recording, isn't it?
Yes,
and
it is.
sounded very nice and clear through these. I think that album can sound slightly sibilant, slightly kind of a little bit bright and splashy sometimes, but these are pretty well behaved. They've certainly, you would never call them dull. They're a little bit less soft around the edges than, for example, the Sennheisers that we mentioned, the HD 660 S2s.
Yeah.
So there's more detail and a little bit more insight and analysis.
They image brilliantly.
They do.
Yeah. Really cool.
They really do.
This is a belting recording as well. Talking of late 80s pop classics.
Great recording.
This is Flag by Yellow, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Dieter Meier.
Yeah.
Do you know they're really into golf.
Oh,
Massively into golf.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, hugely into golf. In fact, they bought golf courses in Germany.
Have they?
Yeah, they own golf courses in Germany, which I think is like the coolest thing ever.
It's not very rock star though, is it?
It's not particularly rock star, is it?
It's like Roger Daltrey starting a trout farm, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah. Do you know who else is massively into golf? Hugely
don't.
into golf. Alex Lifeson from Rush. He's a massive golf fan. Can you imagine how happy I was when I found that out? Just the best thing
I
ever.
can imagine.
Yeah, I was so pleased. Alex, I know you watch. Alex, I know you're a big fan of Riff. Thanks so much. We'll have a game one day. We'll come over to mine and play a few holes.
Goring and Streatley Golf Club, just down the road,
Fulford Heath now.
Oh, okay.
Fulford Heath.
Is it?
Very nice golf course. Yeah, very nice. Yes. So, Alex, come and join me. It's a good game. Good. I'll buy you a pint afterwards as well. You'll have to pay your green.
Well, there you go. That'll be a first.
You'll have to pay your green fee though, Alex. I'm not paying that as well. This is a really terrific album. And this was kind of back in the day. This was like your hi-fi demo album, wasn't it? This was,
It's a very hi-fi show, wasn't it?
Really hi-fi show, yeah. The Race, was like the song which you couldn't not hear at a hi-fi show, on vinyl as well. But they've really taken huge amounts of care on the production on this.
Yes, it was a high watermark, wasn't it, of that
certainly
period?
Was. And this is actually a perfect example of how good these headphones can sound.
Yeah.
You listen to a really great vinyl recording
Yeah.
through the Meze, and wow, it was just superb, just absolutely
Yeah.
superb. So this is not an original pressing. I've just realised there's a barcode on the back. Look at that. I think he's got a barcode on his. David, that's not like you at all. There we are.
We're getting a bit passive aggressive now, Mike.
Excellent, but no,
So,
really cool.
Just put these on and
Yes,
be quiet,
shall
won't you?
I just do that? Yeah.
But that's got of course I'm lying. I think that one has it. That's one of my big faves.
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, excellent.
So
Excellent. No, very good. But everyone used to play the race, didn't they? At Hi-Fi
they
shows.
did, yes, and that was the sort of Dire Straits Industrial Disease kind of equivalent, wasn't it? The go-to track
It
on
was.
that album.
It was. Yeah.
But I really like the whole album. It's great.
So I think that if you had a, here we sort of go, maybe slightly off tangent, but if you had your mobile phone
Yeah.
with a decent streaming service,
Yeah.
whatever your streaming service of choice is, and our lovely Hi-Fi here,
Yeah.
and those, you've got an amazing Hi-Fi system, haven't you?
Yeah, so that Hi-Fi is much better than I thought, considering that it's a kind of portable.
Yes.
And it's heavily digitized up. I mean, I really like the sort of musical fidelity sort of valve-ish, valve-y type headphone amps.
Yes, yes.
They're very good.
Yeah.
I think it's the HPA1. I think it
okay.
might have been
Okay.
that I've got and I use and I love, and obviously that's all analog.
Yeah.
And will drive any headphone. These aren't too difficult to drive.
No, sure, sure.
And they are. I think there are better headphones than this, but for me, they go beyond the kind of normal mid-range, mid-market headphone and just give you a kind of taste of sort of high-end headphone.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. Totally agree with that. I think you're absolutely right. They're not good for sort of listening in bed because they do bleed an awful lot of sound out.
Right.
So that's sort of one of the downsides. But if you can cope with that.
You,
but I mean, everyone in Hi-Fi single anyway. So
absolutely,
it doesn't make any difference then, does it?
So the old David Soul records were
absolutely
polluting the environment.
Yes, totally.
And they are pretty comfortable though.
Very comfy.
They're less vice-like than some headphones we've tried.
No, very
Don't
true.
feel like your head is being sort of like you're in Terminator or whatever, about to have your brain transplanted.
These work really well with my Name Unity Atom headphone edition as well. They work really beautifully with that.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a powerful old amp.
They are wired, by the way, viewers.
Yeah, they are. That's a great shout, actually. And that's a really important point.
Yeah.
No, they are wired.
Yeah.
Yes.
As all the best sounding headphones are, of course.
Yes.
So.
I'm amazed as well, and this is, I don't really want to go down this track, but how much money you can spend on headphone cables. Have you seen this? I mean, I've noticed, I've seen some of the cables which you get are just crazy money.
Yes.
I thought they these are the bundled leads which come with it.
They're not bad. I'd imagine you
decent.
can upgrade them, but they do the job. There's two lots. They've got I think it's a 1.5 meter and a 3 meter length.
Yeah.
And they've got sort of 3.5 mil mini jacks.
Yeah, and standard jacks as well.
Yeah.
I think you come with both.
That's
so really cool. But the 109 Pro is really nice, very very impressive, very lovely headphones. I'm really pleased we had a chance to listen to those.
Yep.
Do you want to do a riffometer on these?
Yeah. So I would give them 8.5, 8.5.
Okay.
Simply because they are. So you're beginning at that price. You're beginning to get into, some kind of exotic stuff that may not sound necessarily as good in some ways, but maybe is better than others. There's a lot of choice around.
Yes.
Competition is tough, and they're great headphones. They're really nice, and they're kind of they show you what's possible with more expensive ones, but at the same time, they don't kind of destroy all their rivals, outright. So one of several very good products at that price, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think that's.
But I do like them,
enough.
and they're fast, they're pacey, they're incisive, they're detailed. They make music fun, and they're a clear jump up from the sort of 350, 400 quid.
Without a doubt. Yeah. So I went to Spiritland in London.
Yeah.
This sort of headphone bar, which is it's either Oxford Circus or Regent Street, so somewhere around there. It's a really, really cool place actually. And I was wanting to buy some expensive headphones, and I ended up buying a Cord Mojo instead and some fairly cheap headphones. Because I did the comparison, and the cheap headphones and the Mojo sounded better than the expensive headphones without it. So I think you've got to get your source right. I mean, Dave is obviously pretty extreme, but I think when you do with these, it really rewards it.
Yes,
I was seriously impressed, and I think you've really nailed it, because when you said you get a glimpse into high end, then you do. You get a window into high end.
Yes,
love it. So I really like these. So I'm going to give these a 9 because I think these are super.
Yeah,
absolutely super. As I said, sadly better than my Amarons, which sort of was a bit disappointing. I should never have compared them. To have just lived with my Amarons in bliss, in ignorance. So there we are. But there we go. Okay, so an 8.5 and a 9. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Excellent. There we are. And on that note, thank you very much indeed for watching another episode of Mike and Dave's Hi-Fi Riff, and we will give you a Volvo update on the next one. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Take it away.